It's July 20th, 2024. Um, I'm still inside of the United States of America with an ONE, an In God We Trust, and a Federal Reserve note. Um, there's Jackson, and there's the White House. Um, and that's our flag. So few things. One is I've in living in New York um my for 45 years in residency. Um they offer a medical device called contact lenses. Um my last contact lenses, I can't remember the name exactly because I really wasn't paying attention. I just expected that they'd still be in business. It's Johnson and Johnson, and that they weren't going anywhere because that's like a major American brand. Um, and I'm pretty sure it was like Aqua or Aquaview, something water related. Um, and I think in like the last 20-25 years, if to rip, like actually get a rip or a tear in the contact, um maybe happened to me once or twice in a lifetime. Um, I just recently went for an exam. I mean, again, I'm only making $16 an hour. It's all I have access to is whatever's in the Chase banking account, the new one. Um, and like the exam and everything, I think it was like around $700. It was right around when I broke my ankle. So then I was bedridden. So I was trying the sample out. I put them away carefully. And then I went to try them back on again. And when I went to wear them to work, um, they there was a tear in it, and there was no tear. So anyhow, so it ripped, which was odd, but didn't think much of it. I went to the store where I got them, and now all of a sudden it's a new brand. It's still Johnson and Johnson, supposedly, allegedly, um, and it's but now it says Vita, Vita. They're still monthly lenses, but the first pair tore. So I went in and I asked for a second pair, temporary, and ordered 2 boxes of the Vita. I got a text that they were in, so I walked up to the store. But the day that I was to pick up my contacts, the contact tore again, which was 1 week's time. So they're supposed to last a month, but whatever the quality is, they seem very like there used to be the contacts used to be a little more sturdy and rigid. Um, Now they're like this material that's very flimsy and are tearing. I mean, 2 pairs tore within a 1 week's time of wearing them. So I then, before I picked up the boxes because it tore again, I asked if they had the aqua, which they don't. They gave me something called Biofinity. I tried that. That ripped within 3 days. Same, it's like an inferior quality, even though it's under the same umbrella of brand name. Second to that is I'm having this problem with my vision. I spoke to the primary care doctor. Her only advice was to go see a specialist. So when I went in for the contacts, I noticed while I was waiting for an answer a sign, something that, and then it listed the doctor. So I took a photo of it and I put it up along with the brand problem that I'm having in my local market. Um, and so now I have to go back today and speak to them again to see if they have anything superior because this Vita and this Aquaview is just not working, and Biofinity is not working either. Um, so there's that. Earlier in the week, I had made mention of, and I've made mention of it before, about quarterbacks. Like it used to be the Eagle, and now quarterbacks are changing, and it's in circulation here. Again, I was one of the few, like, in fact, my entire life, I'm like one of the only children I know that got invited to the undisclosed location for the Mint, um, to actually meet with representatives that worked at the Mint. Like, that was a big deal. The parents made sure we knew that that was a big deal. Um, so I'm concerned now that I see it was an eagle, it was expected to be an eagle, and now the coin token is, and I don't know who to ask. And, again, like, um, and I have no contacts with any of the children that I went on that field trip with. Um, as far as family representatives, and like, again, I'm on CCTV camera doing like working class work, I suppose that's what it's called. um Lewis has always been what I thought was business class. I mean, although that's gotten um confusing to explain. I mean, this week he invited me up just to go to lunch at Heritage and at the Alps, to visit the Alps. He wanted to interview a CEO, so I went with him there after, on my day off from the food store, um, or the grocery store, the supermarket, whatever. Um, so there's that. Um, Now, the front of the nickel has also some new portrait, which again, like, I don't know how. I met a man once when I was at a home builders, I call it conference, but it wasn't a conference, like a convention conference. It was more of a small home builder. Um, I don't know what the name of the meeting was, but anyhow, informality. And the man sat there. He was, I think, an uncle of somebody who was also building a house. And he leaned in and he asked me, um, he wanted to know, like, my age and moving to Virginia. Where and how do I get, like, my national news? And I'm like, I national, like, I mean, even the question I was not prepared to answer, because and Jason was right next to me. I had no idea what he was talking about at all, because, like, there is no interaction. Then this week I watched the RNC, Donald Trump accept the party nomination, and I'm starting to listen now to their words and how they construct this, whatever. I mean, I've been a registered voter, but there's been no party integration. There's been no, like, DNC, RNC. I've never seen it on television, but then again, I don't really watch television. Um, Now I see the RNC is showing their party, um, or their celebration, I suppose. But there's never been, like, an invitation. There's never been anything, any integration, no attempt by the party to, like, keep their members, like, close or brought in. It's very confusing. Like, things I didn't even know I wasn't aware, like, until now I'm watching it and I'm like, I've never been contacted by the party or invited to their convention or even alerted of any local ongoings. So it's very confusing. Um, so that's kind of, I'm mulling that around, very confused. Um, And so, I don't know. So the context, the meeting, the quarters. Oh, and then at work, um, I'm noticing like in the plastics of financial services, there was credit cards. It was the standard. I mean, MasterCard, Visa was the main ones. Then all of a sudden came American Express. Then they became then a Discover came out. So there was then like four, but two really like superior, and then two like every now and again. Even still in transactions, I'm trying to pay attention, knowing CCTV is like right over my shoulder. Um, and so there's that. And then, and it used to be magnetic strip on the back of the plastic. Then at some point, they integrated a computer chip onto the plastics, still with the magnetic strip, but whichever. And then, like in the evolution of the artistry of knowing, not knowing like the Matrix, I mean, like the quartermasters or like whatever words they use to describe the respectable that I don't necessarily know their whatever and whatever. But so there's that. And then um now all of a sudden, for the first time ever, there's something called an OTC, which in SEC terms, I learned at Green Street a very different version of OTC. I don't know what this, I mean, sometimes it says OTC Flex iRent, sometimes it just says OTC Healthy Fund. Like there's some weirdness in the software that I'm noticing. And again, it has an IBM frame around it. And then there's whatever software company and whatever. And then whoever is terminal I at the terminal of the plastic acceptance. I don't know. Um, and I don't claim to know, but changes that I've noticed is now all of a sudden um, they're coming in with plastic cards with no chip. Some have a magnetic strip, some don't. Some only have a barcode. And I'm noticing that the magnetic backs with no chip that still exist, um, I'm trying to watch their clearinghouse, or at least that's the word that Lewis used. Like back in the day, I mean, like he had a business, he was business class, he had a compliance department. I mean, like he had an accounting, he had lawyers, he had a legitimate business multi-state operation. Um, and so I am cognizant of that. And his clearinghouses back then were Bear Stearns, Pershing, and Oppenheimer. Those were the three. Um, but now they're like he says this word clearinghouse, and I'm trying to see how it connects. Um, so if like MasterCard and Visa are clearinghouses, then there's like the words on the back of some of these plastics, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. And then all of a sudden now they come in with plastics with barcodes, almost like a coupon, um or part of a UPC. Like I don't know how they explain it in whatever level. But I'm watching, and then I have sometimes people come in. So that's with tangible material plastics. um and I noticed, like for instance, a United Healthcare in the local place, they have Medicare RX, which is clearinghouse for a barcode of some kind called a U card. I don't know how that came about. I mean, again, I didn't get a vote. I wasn't brought up to speed. These things just keep appearing in the market, whether they're like legal or fraudulent. I really don't know. I don't know how to vet that or verify that either. Um, and then there's another United Healthcare that has a blue purple front, and it has, instead of Medicare RX, it has another whatever, symbol with whatever. And I'm just noticing that now there's variations in these things. Like there's, and then the uniformity that I come to expect with like a MasterCard logo. One of the major banks, Capital One to be whatever, they put their emblem is always on the front for uniformity of plastics with the bank name, almost like the US postal system, where the return address is always in the upper left hand corner, the stamp goes on the right. Well, on the front of the plastics with the chip is where the bottom right is where the emblem always was, and the bank name in the upper left. Um, Now I just noticed a customer with a chip plastic card where the MasterCard logo was no longer uniformly on the front, it was on the back. And I had to ask her, I'm like, excuse me, I said, before you use that, and again, I'm on camera, I said, may I ask, I see that it's Capital One, but what, may I ask what the, is it a MasterCard, a Visa? I said, because there's no emblem. And so she flipped it over, and that's how I saw that it was on the back. Because again, like I'm on this camera surveillance system. I don't know who's surveilling. Like, is it one of the men and women that protect me and my rights and my freedoms? Or is it one of the nefarious possible scammers? Like I just don't know who watches over these things or who is at the level that they get to collect this information. Like there's so much that they have not explained. And it's like I know at one level I was supposed to have this amazing marriage, this amazing man, and then all of a sudden it didn't happen. And then whatever happened. And I'm lost in why was I hurt so bad in this relationship that never came to be. When, like, I mean, I've been hunted and stuck just in public and then blackout after what felt like a bee sting. Um, and it's happened multiple ways where I all of a sudden will get woozy and black out as well, and then get very dizzy when I'm wake up, almost like coming to out of surgery. But so there's a lot of really concerning things, and changes in what is this uniformity, um, that one comes to expect, especially like at Mint, went to the Mint, was invited to the Mint level. And like, I don't know if that was because I was, intended for somebody extremely important. I don't know why. Again, the relationships are whatever they are, and horrible. I would never paint myself into this position ever, but here we are. Um, and so I'm noticing a lot of changes in plastic, current like plastic financial services. Um, and then alterations and inductions of things that I don't know if they're legitimate or not, at the same time that there are alternate quarterbacks circulating inside the register, the cash register, in token. I mean, there still is, of course, thank God, um, the eagle on the back of the quarters. There's a large circulation of those, but I'm starting to see this increase in circulation of alternate quarterbacks, and that is at matrix level. That, I mean, to me, like, again, like if things are on a spreadsheet, like there's that safety zone, and then like what are the outliers. So so that is what, and then there's these new things, so that's at the plastic part of financial services, and then there's this notice of um, phone technology that they tap the phone onto the terminal, and watching it on the software and how it interacts. And then people coming in wanting these, instead of using just the app, like the designated app for the store, I have persons coming um, in random variability with barcodes on their phone that they want scanned. And it, of course, has the brand name of the store I'm working in, but there's already been an alert because there's been fraud and scam detected. And so management said absolutely nothing but the real app at this point. Um, and and there's that. Um, so there's just these confusing topics that are coming up. They're very interesting. Again, if I was in the intended relationship that I always dreamed of and always wanted, it would be a much more enjoyable conversation one on one. But since I don't have access to him directly, um, and again, like if he's the one who withdrew um, the relationship that threw me into this horrible position in life and this whatever that's occurred, set of circumstances that's occurred, where's my safety net? Like, who picks up that relationship if it's been so damaged and then I've been so hurt? I just don't know. It's star 1978, star 8378. Nicole Cattaruzza, it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxies, broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.